Sexual Follies. So this is not off the subject. There is this Stormy Daniels thing going on, and I'm not covering it very much because I don't care. And I don't care, this is something that Trump did before he was in office, or they say he did. They say he slept with a porn star and then paid her off to keep quiet. In keeping with the comedians who just can't stop spewing this hatred. I mean, it really is hatred. It's not even funny. Stephen Colbert has this completely unfunny show called Our Cartoon President. Is that what it's called? And he makes fun of the Stormy Daniels thing here.
Her birth name is Stephanie Clifford, but elementary school history books will forever refer to her as Stormy Daniels. In 2006, she allegedly had sex with a recently married Donald Trump, his chin dripping with a Lipitor bowl hormone cookie dough milkshake. Then she accepted $130,000 to stay silent about what Americans already instinctively knew in their amygdala hindbrain. Here now is President Trump's side of the story.
Stormy Daniels is lying, unless she says I'm a wildcat in bed, in which case it's all true.
So, obviously it's just a way of running down Trump, that he's a billionaire, ran beauty contests. We know exactly what kind of life he led. It was not a big secret that he was leading that life. He was not leading the life of a politician or a priest. He was leading out in the open the life of a billionaire playboy. So that's who he was. Meanwhile, over at the John Oliver show, what is his show called? Last week tonight. John Oliver, he is picking on Charlotte Pence, who we had Vice President Mike Pence's daughter, wrote a children's book about her bunny, Marlon Bundo, following the vice president through the day. Proceeds from this book go to charity. And John Oliver decides to make fun of this book, the child of the vice president, right? This is not the vice president. Make fun of this book because he doesn't like Mike Pence's attitude toward gays.
At the end of our hop, I said, Wesley, I don't want to hop without you ever again. And Wesley said,
that's funny because I never want to hop without you, Marlon Bundo, ever again.
And we both said, we will get married and hop together forever. Said the stink bug.
You can't get married!
The stink bug was in charge. All the animals listened to him, even though he was very stinky.
Boy bunnies don't marry boy bunnies. Boy bunnies have to marry girl bunnies.
But don't worry, we had a plan. A plan that involved all the animals in the garden.
And if you want to know how the story turns out, you are going to have to buy the book. Please, buy it for your children, buy it for any child you know, or just buy it because you know it would annoy Mike Pence.
So what I want to know is this, aside from the fact that why John Oliver can't leave the daughter of the vice president alone and let her sell her book for charity. Aside from that, what I want to know is we can make fun of Donald Trump for having what was obviously consensual sex that was, if it happened, assuming it happened, was adulterous. But Mike Pence can't have his opinions about other people's sex lives. So where do we draw the line? What are the rules now for what's right about sex? Is homosexuality right after 2,000 years of people thinking it's wrong? Is it just right because John Oliver thinks it's right? Is having sex with a porn star, is that wrong because we don't like Donald Trump? I mean, it's kind of a mess, isn't it? And I read this story that they're now, they make these sex bots now. They're trying to make more and more realistic sex bots. And they're now thinking of making child sex bots for pedophiles. And somebody wrote an article saying, we've got to stop this. It's going to be, it's going to be like a gateway drug for pedophiles. Now, we don't know that, right? We don't know it because we don't know whether porn actually inspires pedophiles to commit pedophilic acts, or if it relieves them, if it gives them a release, if it gives them a release from their desires and maybe stops it. It's ugly. It's a terrible thing to do. But how are we going to know? How are we going to know what is the right thing to do if the only way we know is whether comedians are making fun of us or not? The only way we know how to judge sex acts, ours and others, is whether comedians happen to be making fun of it because they dislike Mike Pence and they dislike Donald Trump. There's no logic to what they're saying. There's no particular, through line to their morality. It's just their political hatred. So how are we going to know? And again, I just want to go back to the idea that if you do not know what a human being is, if you do not have a sense of your own free will and your own purpose in life, there's no possible way to come up with a moral system for sex or for anything else. So this spewing hatred on the left, they always accuse us of being hateful, racist, sexist, but this spewing hatred on the left is a sign of their confusion and their lostness and their misunderstanding of the American way and of the Western way. And it really is not what we should be paying attention to. We should be paying attention to rebuilding the consensus of what our lives as Westerners and as free men and women are about. All right, mailbag tomorrow. Get your questions in now. I will answer as many as I can, and my answers will change your life. For some of you, it will be better. For the rest, I cannot tell you what it's going to be like. I'm Andrew Klavan. This is The Andrew Klavan Show. Oh, hooray, hurrah. The Andrew Klavan Show is produced by Robert Sterling. Executive producer, Jeremy Boring. Senior producer, Jonathan Hay. Our supervising producer is Mathis Glover. Technical producer, Austin Stevens. Edited by Alex Zingaro. Audio is mixed by Mike Cormina. Hair and makeup is by Jesua Alvera. And our animations are by Cynthia Angulo and Jacob Jackson. The Andrew Klavan Show is a Daily Wire Forward Publishing production. Copyright Forward Publishing 2018.